Alright, so I've had some requests on some more videos on how to do the Desmos, or the delta math, compound interest, and compound continuously. So I'm going to do about 2 from each section. Okay, so that'll be about 8 problems. Alright, and I'm going to show you what to do. Okay, so first we're going to do the solve for future value. Now, let's take a screen snap. Alright, so it says Aaron invested $7,500 into an account paying an interest rate of 1.5 compounded continuously. When it says compounded continuously, that chooses your formula for you. And that means your formula will be the A equals P E to the RT. E is not a variable, okay? So once you figure out your formula, now we can go back and label things. When they say they invested something, that's your P. Your rate is the 1.5. Move that decimal 1 2 places, so it's 0.015. And then it says how much money to the nearest $100. $100. Okay, that means your $100 place, like where you say $500. So that'll be the third place in your numbers. Okay, all right. After 8 years, which is your time. So plug what we know. We don't know our A, so it's going to be A equals 7,500 times, I'm going to run out of room over here. Let's come over here. A equals 7,500 E to the 0.015 times 8. Okay, so I'm going to type this all into Desmos. Okay, when you're solving for your future value, you just type it straight into Desmos and it'll give you your answer. So 7,500 times E, let's pull it up, 7,000 Desmos. So we're gonna do, hold on a minute, let's make that stop coming up. All right, here we go. So Y equals 7,500. You go to ABCs to find your E. We raise it. The rate was 0.015. Let's go back. 0.015 times 8 years is what I believe it was. 8 years, yes. All right, so it wants us to round to the nearest hundredths place. That's probably where you're messing up. So the nearest hundredth place is wherever you say 100 when you're saying the word. So when I say this, I say 8,456. So it wants me to round right there, that 4. So that 5 is going to make that 4 round up to a 5. So my answer is going to be 8,500. So when I go back to Delta Math, I'm going to type in 8,500. All right, let's do another one. All right, so this one, it's a different one, so let's do it. Snip. So this one says, Grace invested $5,200 in an account paying an interest rate of 4.6 compounded daily. When it says compounded daily, that picks your formula. It's not continuously anymore, so we change the formula to be A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the NT. Okay, so let's label our stuff. Invested means that's your P. We've got a rate of 0.046 daily. Now, the compounded continuously didn't have this N. This is where N kicks in. How many days are in a year? 365. Okay. No deposits are made. So to the nearest dollar, so wherever you say dollar is where you're going to round to. And 11 years is your T. So we're missing our A again, so we get to type this straight into Desmos. And it's going to be 5,200 times 1 plus 0.046 over 365. So all I'm doing is plugging in my numbers to that equation up there. It's 365 times 11. Okay. So now we're going to go to Desmos and we're going to solve. Okay. All right. So we go to Desmos and let's type this thing in. Okay. So we're going to trash this, exit it out. Uh-oh, where'd you go? Where'd you go? I don't know what I did. Oh, I hit settings. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's type it in. Y equals 52 times 1 plus 0.046. That's a 5, 6 divided by 365. Get out from underneath. Close your parentheses. Raise it to the 365 times 11. Whoop, 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 whoop. Times 11. All right. Now, it wanted us to round to the nearest dollar. Okay. So, nearest dollar, I would say this $8,624. So it wants me to round this 4. Okay, so that 6 is going to make that 4 round up. So my answer would be 8625. So I go back here, and I'm going to do 8625. 8625. Got it right. All right. So now let's solve for time. Okay. So we're going to solve for time. So let's screenshot this. All right. Zoom in a little bit. Get the highlighter so we can figure out what formula we're going to use. So Addison invested $440 into account paying an interest rate of 2% compounded continuously. Compounded continuously means I'm going to use the E formula. Okay, so I'm going to say A equals P E to the RT. So I don't have an N this time, all right? So I invested, that means that's my P. A rate, we're going to move that decimal 2 places, so it's 0.02. Said how long would it take to the nearest 10th of a year? 10th. So your decimal places, we'll get to that when we get to rounding. Let's not get too far ahead. Said for the value of the count to reach. When it says reach, that means it's your N value and that's your A. Okay? So here I'm missing T is my missing variable. So A is 610 equals your P times E to the 0.02 times T. This one, hold on, the laptop's done. Go, go, go. Plug, plug, plug. All right. We're safe. All right. So when you're missing something besides your A, this is where you do left-hand side line 1, right-hand side line 2. Okay? So this is going to be, we got to find the intersection problem. Okay? So let's find the intersection. So we're going to go back to Desmos. And we're going to type left-hand side line 1, left-hand side line 1, right-hand side line 2. So left-hand side is y equals 610. If you don't put y equals there, it's not going to graph it. And then y equals 440 times E. Raise it to the 0.02. Instead of using T, we're going to use X because Desmos likes that. So now we need to find their intersection. So we're going to do a combination of some zooming out and some scrolling. Okay. There we go. We got an intersection. So there's our point. 16.334. So 16.334. So 16.334. It wants us to round to the nearest 10th of a year. Okay. Your 10th place, when it has a TH, that means it's your decimals, okay? So the 10th place means your first decimal place, okay? So the 10th place is the first number behind your decimal, okay? And anytime you don't know how to round, you guys are online, look up what it means for the 10th place, okay? And Google will surely help you out, all right? So 3 does nothing to that 3 because it has to be greater than 5. So my answer is just going to be 16.3. So when I go to Delta Math, I'm going to type in 16.3. Okay? I got it right. All right, let's do another one. All right, so let's do... Trying to get one that's... There we go. Well, we've done a daily. Let's do it. Here we go. Got one. All right, so let's snip it. All right, so, sorry, reading an email, trying to multitask. All right, so here, let's highlight so we can find our equation we're going to use. Carter invested $16,000 into account paying an interest rate of 5.6% compounded monthly. So since it doesn't say continuously, that means I'm not going to use that formula. And instead, I'm going to use A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the NT. Okay, so let's label invested. Invested means that's your P. Rate, we're going to move that decimal 2 places to the left. And then how long would it take to the nearest year? So nearest year, that's just going to be your nearest whole number. Okay. For the value of the account to reach. Reach means end game, so that's your A. So it's going to be 29,600 equals 16,000 times 1 plus 0.056. Now, I forgot the N. What I've highlighted is your N. How many months are in a year? 12. So my N will be 12. And then it's N to the T power. Now, this is going to be left-hand side, line 1, right-hand side, line 2. Okay? And then you're going to find the intersection is what we're going to do. Okay? All right, so let's pull up Desmos. We're going to trash, exit, exit, exit. All right, so left-hand side, line 1. So it's going to be Y equals 29,600. Line 2 is going to be the right-hand side, which was the 1,600 times 1 plus 0.056 divided by your N. Raise it to your 12, and we can't use T, so we're going to use X. All right? So, looks like I'll need to zoom out quite a bit. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I wish I had elevator music playing for you guys. Why zoom? All right, there's your answer. To the nearest year, okay, that's going to be 11. 11 years, okay? So when it says to the nearest year, it just wants you to round to the whole number, okay? So my answer is going to be 11. All right, so let's go to the next one. 2 more sections, and then we're going to call it quits for the video. All right, snip, snip, snip. All right, so let's get the highlighter. Figure out what the formula is. So Evan is going to invest into account paying an interest rate of 5.4% compounded continuously. Continuously means we don't have that N. Okay, so we're going to use the E formula. All right, so we're going to say A equals PE to the RT. So Evan's going to invest into account paying an interest rate. So it doesn't say what he's investing. You caught that, right? So R equals, move this decimal point 2 places to the left. So it's 0.054. How much would Evan need to invest to the nearest dollar? So nearest dollar is going to be rounding it to your whole number. For account value to reach, I told you reach is end game. 12 years is T. So we're missing P here, and that's fine. Okay, so let's plug in what we got. 1360 equals P times E to the R times T. So again, left-hand side line 1, right-hand side line 2. Okay? Whoops. All right, let's go to Desmos. Exit, exit. So left-hand side line 1. So it's going to be Y equals the 1360. Right-hand side line 2. That's going to be, we don't know what P is, so we're going to make it X. We do know what E is. It's a number. To the 0.054 times 12. Now we need to find the intersection. Now I'm zoomed out quite a bit, so I'm going to go back home and zoom out that way, okay? So let's keep going till we find our intersection. There it is. Okay, so I wanted us to round to the nearest dollar. So that means whole number. So that 4 is going to do nothing to that 1. So it's going to be 711. 711, some lucky numbers. Done. All right, let's do another one out of this section. Let's find, they sure do like daily, don't they? Here we go. Here's one that we haven't done. All right, we're going to snip it. Snip, snip. All right, here we go. So highlighter to figure out what we're doing or which equation we're using. So Sadie's going to invest into account paying an interest rate of 3.1% compounded annually. So that chose my formula for me. And my formula is going to be A equals P 1 plus R over N to the NT. Okay? All right. So she's going to invest. So we're missing our P because it's not telling us what we're investing. Our rate, move this decimal 2 places to the left, so 0.031. Compounded annually. Well, annually means a year. How many times does a year occur in a year? Once. Okay. How much food would Sadie need to invest to the nearest $100? So wherever you say 100 is where you're rounding to. For the value of the account to reach. Reach means your A value and years is your T. So let's plug it in. Don't know my P. All right. Again, left-hand side line 1, right-hand side line 2. Okay. So we're going to go to Desmos. Left-hand side line 1, right-hand side line 2. Y equals 1030. Line 2 is going to be right-hand side, which is going to be P, but we don't know what P is, so we're going to leave it as an X. Parentheses, 1 plus 0.031 divided by 1. And then I'm going to raise it to the 1 times 16. Okay, let's find, oh look, there's their intersection right there. Bam. So I'm going to write this 631. Let's see here. So we're going to round. So it wanted me to round to the nearest dot. Let's see. I think it said 100. Was it 100? Let's look. So round to the nearest $100. So wherever you say 100, 600. That's where I say 100. So it wants me to round here. That 3 does nothing to the 6. And when you round, everything behind the number you're rounding to turns into a 0. So those are going to turn into a 0. So it's going to be $600. So I come here and I type 600. Oh, that's 6,000. There we go. All right. All right, so last section we're going to do on this video, solve for the rate. Okay. It sure does give us compound continuously the first time, every time. Have y'all noticed that? All right, here we go. 2 more and we're going to be done. All right, so we're going to get our highlighter. So Adam is going to invest $23,000 and leave it in an account for 19 years, assuming the interest is compounded continuously. Compounded continuously, chose our formula, and our formula is going to be the E formula. A equals P, E to the RT. Okay, so now let's label things. I want to invest, that's my P. 19 years, that's my T. Okay, it says what interest rate, so I don't know my interest rate. It wants me to round to the 10th. We'll talk about that in a minute. So end, he wants to end, so that's your A. So I'm missing my R here. So I know everybody but my R. So let's write our equation. Don't know my R, and my T is 19. So again, we're going to do left-hand side line 1, right-hand side line 2, and find that intersection. Okay? So here we go. Let's trash, exit, exit, exit. Here we go. We got Y equals 51, 1, 2, 3. I was trying to make this video less than 30 minutes. We might get there. Y equals 23. 1, 2, 3. E. Raise it to the, since we don't know R, we're going to use X and then multiply it by 19. All right, so we got to find their intersection. So we got a lot of zooming to do. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Here we go, here it is. Let's zoom on it. There we go. So, our answer, that's our answer, okay? So, I'm going to show you how to round. All right, so it was 0.0419. Now, it wanted us to round to the nearest tenth. So, your tenths place is this first place right here. Okay? Oh, I'm glad I came back. It wants us to round to the 10th of a percent. Okay? So it wants us to convert it to a percent first. All right, since it's asking for the percent, since it said 10th of a percent, we've got to convert it to a percent. So to convert it to a percent, you move this decimal 2 places to the right. So I'm going to have 0, which I don't need to write that 0. It's going to be 4.19. So now round it to the 10th place. So my 10th place is right here. That 9 is going to make that 1 go up, and it's going to be 4.2%. So when I go back to Delta Math, I'm going to type in 4.2. Okay, so when Delta Math's asking for that percent, change it to a percent, then round. Okay? All right, last problem we're going to do. Let's see if I can, we'll just do this one. Okay? Snip. Let's go. Last one, last call for math problems. All right. Anthony's going to invest $7,200 and leave it into account for 16 years, assuming the interest is compounded monthly. I should start singing in my videos to y'all. What would y'all think? Compounded monthly, that chooses my equation, and it's going to be A equals P 1 plus R over the N to the NT. Okay? Anthony's going to invest, that's my P. 16 years is my T. Compounded monthly, how many months are in a year? 12. Nearest tenth of a percent, so again, we're going to have to convert to a percent, then round. Okay, we'll be required in order for Anthony to end. So if I end, that's my A. And I do believe that's it. Yep. All right, so let's write it out. A is 15,200. That is equal to your P, which is 7200. 1 plus, I don't know my R, over my N. And then it's 12 times 16. All right, again, left-hand side line 1, right-hand side line 2. Okay, let's go to the Desmos. Come on, Desmos. Here we go. Trash it, exit, exit, exit. All right, so left-hand side line 1. So it's going to be Y equals 15,200. Yep. Line 2 is going to be right-hand side, which is Y equals 7200. And then it's 1 plus, I don't know my R, so we're going to make it an X, divided by 12, get out, parentheses, raise it to the 12 times 16. Okay? All right, let's find that intersection. I'm actually going to go and zoom back home and then zoom out some. Okay? And then scroll. I'm going to start getting elevator music, guys, when I'm doing this. I found it. All right, zoom back in. All right, so there's my percent. But first we have to convert it to a percent. Okay, and then we round. All right. So my answer was 0.0468. To convert to a percent, move this decimal place 2 places. So now it's 4.68. It wanted me to round to the nearest tenth of a percent. So here's the tenths place. So that 8 is going to make that 6 go to a 7. So my answer is going to be 4.7. 4.7. Enter. Look at there. We got all problems right. All right, so I hope this helps explain the Delta Mouse. Okay, you have till Monday. So again, someone asked for this video. I made it. I'm sharing it with everybody. So if you guys need help, let me know. I'll do some more if you want me to do some more. Okay, so have a good weekend.